In 2019, a gaming studio from Korea announced an ambitious MMO that was meant to rival the likes of World of Warcraft, but by 2026, everything completely changed. The game was delayed 3 times, reworked mid-development, and reportedly cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make. So what happened? Why did it take 7 years, and how did it switch from an MMO to completely single-player experience? This is the story of Crimson Desert. To understand this, we have to go back to November 2019, when Korea's biggest game trade show, G-Star, was held in Busan. Pearl Abyss, the studio behind the successful MMO Black Desert Online, announced 3 new games: Plan 8, Dog V, and Crimson Desert. Originally, Crimson Desert was supposed to be the prequel to Black Desert Online, set in the same universe, a massive online world where you can play as Macduff, which they later renamed to Cliff, a mercenary leader fighting for survival in a brutal medieval fantasy setting. The hype was real. At the time, Black Desert Online had over 20 million players and had generated billions of dollars in revenue. The expectation was clear. Crimson Desert would be Pearl Abyss's next major online game, building on the foundation they already had. Almost a year later, in December 2020, the studio revealed a gameplay trailer at the Game Awards. It featured stunning visuals, intense combat, epic boss fights, and beautifully detailed world, all powered by their new Black Space engine. The hype exploded. It felt like Pearl Abyss's own Witcher 3, their own Red Dead Redemption 2, and it even had a release date of 2021, just 1 year away. So what could go wrong? After the Game Awards reveal, we didn't hear much from Pearl Abyss until 7 months later, when they announced that Crimson Desert had been delayed, this time without any release date. The official reason given was health and safety concerns due to COVID-19. But behind the scenes, something else was happening. According to reports, sometime in 2021, the studio realized that the game simply wasn't working. The story they wanted to tell with this game didn't fit well with the MMO mechanics. The multiplayer and live service elements became a major problem, forcing the studio to make a difficult decision. And they did. After more than 2 years of development, just months away from release, Pearl Abyss decided to scrap the server infrastructure, multiplayer systems, and economy balancing they had built and start over from scratch. The MMORPG they were developing was transformed into a pure single-player experience. This wasn't just a delay, it was a complete genre shift. For the next 2 years, we received almost no updates. Uncomfortable questions began to surface. Was the game cancelled? In 2023, Gamescom was held in Germany, and Crimson Desert finally returned. This time, the game looked completely different. Instead of a MMORPG, it was a stunning single-player experience. We were introduced to a reimagined protagonist, Cliff, a more complex combat system, and a massive open world. Most importantly, there was no mention of online or multiplayer elements. The studio's PR director clarified that despite sharing a similar name, Crimson Desert would be completely separated IP from Black Desert. During Pearl Abyss's Q1 earnings call, the studio stated that game was in its final stage of development. They confirmed a playable demo for Gamescom 2024 and expected a late 2025 release. Players who tried the demo had mostly positive impressions, praising the combat, the world design, and overall polish. It finally felt like the game was real. But there was still a problem. During the Q2 2025 earnings call, Pearl Abyss announced another delay. This time the game was pushed back by 1 quarter with a new release window of early 2026. Unlike previous delays, this one wasn't caused by major design issues. Instead, it was due to late-stage development challenges. Voiceovers in multiple languages were taking longer than expected time, Microsoft and Xbox approval process, and physical distribution issues. In other words, the game was finished, just not ready to ship. So why did development take so long? The game's map is reportedly twice the size of Skyrim and larger than Red Dead Redemption 2. It features dragons, mech bears, sky islands, and much more. Pearl Abyss didn't want to rush the release and risk creating a world that felt empty. They wanted the world itself to be deeply interactive. Another major reason for the delays was the engine. Instead of using Unreal Engine or another existing engine, Pearl Abyss built their own. Development on this engine began on around 2018, and when the game shifted from MMORPG to single-player experience, many systems had to be rebuilt, costing even more time. After delaying the game to Q1 2026, Pearl Abyss didn't go silent. They appeared at Summer Game Fest 2024 with a playable demo, showcased more gameplay at Gamescom 2024, and made an appearance at the Game Awards 2024. Finally, in January 2026, the news everyone had been waiting for arrived. Crimson Desert officially went gold, meaning that it was ready for distribution. The release date was confirmed for March 2019, and after years of development and delays, we were finally just weeks away from launch. The game already has over 2 million wishlists on Steam, so it's safe to say that the hype is real. Pearl Abyss had made some bold, ambitious promises. They have showcased a seamless open world with dynamic weather, advanced physics systems, large-scale battles, and highly detailed environments. Combat looks complex yet fast, with enemies reacting realistically to the world around them. Visually, the game looks stunning and truly feels like a 2026 release. But history has taught us an important lesson. When studios promise too much and fail to deliver, trust is lost. Crimson Desert is an incredibly ambitious project, and if it delivers on what we've seen so far, it could be an early contender for Game of the Year. So that's the story of Crimson Desert. How a studio turned an MMORPG into a single-player game after years of development challenges. What's your opinion on the game? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.